Hi everyone. This is the September Kiwi Club, and as you can see, it is late in the month and I still haven't gotten into this yet. So I am gonna go ahead and play around with this guy and see what we can come up with as some layouts. Honestly, I will tell you right now, I have absolutely nothing in mind. I haven't even actually opened this set up, so this will be a first look at what I can possibly do with it. I did have a couple of ideas of templates and what to use because, you know, I did know what was roughly in the kit. Because I saw the spoilers and I always go on to the idea book the second it comes out. So I am always going in and looking at all the different things that you could possibly do and add. So, you know, it's just a kind of way I just kind of brainstorm a little bit. And I look at, I try and match some colors and see what I want to do with some colors and how I want to put it all together. Sunshine and smells good. Okay, I like that one. I may go ahead and do a lot more than what I thought I was going to, because some of these are really cute and I really want to use them. Okay, I think that was designed with that in mind, so I think I'm gonna set that aside. Okay, this is the pocket for the pocket diary. Oh, it's smaller than I thought it was. I thought it was gonna be bigger. Okay. Ooh, there's a little guy in there. Okay. Yeah, the little guy. Okay, make sure I got them all. Alrighty, so we've got the pocket, we've got the fence. We have the sunflower guy. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways we can go about doing that. Alright, I see it. And then the fence. Okay, the fence I definitely want to do something with. But you know what? I don't have any white. I didn't pull any white from my stash. Let me do that. Alright. So we got white. Alright, let's make sure my whites are good. I pulled a couple of colors. I just haven't decided what I wanted to do yet. So I have a couple of thoughts, I have a couple of ideas. I think I definitely want to use my large keepsake, and then I want to pull in, I love the blues of course, because you know me, I love blues. So I think I'm going to pull in a couple of things. There's a couple of different layout ideas I think I'm going to do with this. Since I have it, I just pulled, yeah, I really like that. Okay, so that is definitely a must. So cute, I want to put it in my pocket, of course, is that. And then I definitely want to bring in the fence line somehow. Okay, so I definitely want that one. I'm going to look, that'll be a good accent page for me. So will that. And the sunflowers will be good in that. And then trying to look and see. Don't really want to do that as my background, I'll be honest with you. That might be a little too dark, but let's see how it goes. Okay. Believe it or not, that may be a little dark for me on my background, but with the medallion being white, it might work out okay with the darker blues that I picked. So let's roll with it. Okay, shall we? Alright, so I want to do the medallion, and I want to spread the medallion across 2 pages. I know I want to do that. So I'm gonna do this. You're gonna have to bear with me because I know I'm gonna be out of frame a lot. Because I don't have a very big area and I don't want to lose this little guy. Stay up here. Another thing that I just came across, and it was kind of ironic, my Stamps of Life, I'm a club member there as well. And ironically, one of the classes that they just did was this sunflower class here. So I thought the dies and stamps for this would match really, really cute with this. So I'm going to try and see if I can incorporate it. No guarantees, but I'm going to try. Okay, so my pocket, definitely want that. And then we definitely want the You Are My Sunshine here. Okay, and then I think what I'm going to go ahead, I'm probably way out of frame. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to do the keepsake there like that. Let's put it more this way. Put my pocket here. And then this guy there with the stem. You're my sunshine. Like that. Yep. I'm going to do something interesting with this. I'm actually going to punch the inside here. I'm going to cut out the big flower. And then I'm going to punch that center dot out so that I can put it on top of this one. It'll make sense when it all comes together. That's kind of where my brain is going with it right now. And then I want to bring in my strips, which I have hiding somewhere. Oh, there they are. I knew I was going to need the strips with this one, so I just wanted to visualize a little bit. I think I'm going to go with a 2-inch strip. Ooh, well, no, those sunflowers are a little bit big. Let's go with the 3. I was going to go with a 2-inch strip, but I think if I do the 2-inch strip, I might get enough of the sunflowers there that I want versus the 3. I don't know. Let's try the 2 and see how it goes, and if I want more, I can always beef it up a little bit. So let's do one there, and then bring them across here. So that will bring this guy up like so. Okay, and then I have debated in the polka dots. Bring in the polka dots in. So let's bring the polka dots with this, like so. And those that know me know that these are my favorite combinations. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to offset the 2 instead of having them the same, so that I can focus on the 2 pieces there. Okay, and then I need photo mats. I was kind of playing with my selfie the other day, and I realized that on my selfie I can do some really wild pictures. I can do 3x3s, and there's a 3.5, a 3. So I think what I'm going to try and do is, let me remember where my middle mark is. It's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then 4x6, and 3x4 is not really going to fit there if I do that. Let's do this like that. The 4x6 here like this. And then I'll do a little banner here. Banner. I also reorganized all my templates into collections, so I know if I wanted a banner, I have all my banners in one place now. that has really kind of helped me because I can really kind of look and see the different banners that I want to do. No, I don't want that. I want something, nope. I like woodland so far. I think cherish is going to be too big. I know you can't really see that because it's against the whites, but you'll see it better in just a little bit. You know, I like cherish and wonderland. I think wonderland's going to be too small, so let's do cherish. Okay. I would never have thought to look to cherish for a banner. So by organizing my templates by theme and category, it has really brought out a lot of new ideas and new templates that, you know, I've had in my collection for forever, but I haven't used. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, I'll keep those aside. Oops, dropped one. Okay, so I think I like that. And like I said, I'm gonna use the darks here and here, so any bright that I'm gonna put into here is gonna stand out pretty well. And then it's not gonna be a big layout with pictures, but it'll be enough, I think, to have a good design. All right, so I know that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, the first thing I wanna do, and I'm gonna set these two aside for just a second. With my keepsakes, a lot of people just habitually will try and center this. I won't do that. I'm not gonna use this one this time, so I'm gonna move it. Don't center it here like this unless you're actually planning on using the outside for another layout. Go ahead and justify these as high up as you can. Also, unless if you're going to do like, if there's a specific pattern or something on the page that you want to capture in a certain area of the medallion that you're doing. Okay. And I did not pre-cut any of this, so you're gonna have to bear with me on a little bit of cutting. I am left-handed, so I have a tendency to cut on the outside edge of my blade, which is actually backwards. You really want to have, when you're cutting, you want to have the line that you're cutting on the inside of your blade so you can actually see it. But because I've learned so much for so long with the right-handed scissors, I've just kind of naturally adjusted to doing it backwards. Another thing that it does do is when you get if you have scissors that are like slightly fuzzy or the edges aren't exactly perfectly sharp, you're gonna get like a little bit of a tearing or a torn fuzzy edge to your cuts. And if that blade is on the outside doing that, you're gonna get that on the outside edge of your cut. If it's on the inside edge doing that, then that's gonna be much more noticeable. You always want to have, if you have a damaged blade, you want to always have that on the outside. And my scissors do need to be sharpened. I will say that. Thankfully, there's a Fisker shop just around the corner from me. Alright, so there's that. You can see with this one, I will probably speed up some of it if I can figure out how to do that on my YouTube. I'm still kind of learning. Even though I've had a channel for a long time, I don't do a lot of editing. I like things kind of straightforward, and this is how I did it. Alright, so see, I kind of messed up there a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. If you want to go in and fix it a little bit, you can. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so I did save a little bit of this, so if I want to try and use it for something, I can. Let's set that aside. Alright, now I'm going to decide how much of the medallion I want on either side. And originally, I thought we said we wanted to do a little bit more on this side. So, yeah, I think that's good. Okay, but I want to make sure I still get that 3x4 this way. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna mark it and then I'm gonna cut it. It doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, if you're striving for perfection with Kiwi Lane, you might run into a couple of problems. It's not about being perfect, it's just about having fun and doing it and getting the layout done. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink my edges. So A, I don't forget. And B, I can actually see kind of how the final product is gonna look a little bit better. Inking as you go along also kind of really helps, because sometimes when you put two pattern papers on top of each other, if they haven't been inked, you can't really see the separation of the patterns, and you'll find that the layout kind of just keeps bugging you and keeps bugging you and you can't figure out why. And usually that's what it is. So that's another reason why I kind of have changed a little bit of my perspective on inking to do it as I go, so that, you know, you can really see that distinction as you're working. It gives you a really much better perspective on what your finished product is actually going to look like. So, for those of you that have kind of been following me, you'll also notice that my voice has improved since my last video. My tonsillectomy was finally completed. So it's all been healed, thankfully. A little bit of hoarseness every now and then, but I think I'm pretty well on the mend, which is awesome. So excited about that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I think I have this really pretty gray, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my photo mats in this gray because it did match the paper really, really well. Okay, and I had 3 inches by 4 and then a 3 by 3. Oops, get that up there. Okay, so here's a 3 by 3 and a 3 by 4. And then we had a 4 by 6 and then the banner. Okay, so 4, 6. You know, I really could do a 4 by 6 that way, couldn't I? It wouldn't really take away from that. But I think I want to have a little bit more of the pattern showing, just to have some prettiness to the layout. Okay, so that, and then banner. Where did my banner go? Okay, so then I'm gonna do my cherish out of the gray as well. And then see how this is the remnant piece that I have. If I try and put this cherish on there, I'm coming to these points really, really close. So I'm just gonna kind of like cockeye it a little bit so that I can get a really good, make sure that I get all my points and everything else. I'm just kind of picky that way. It would have worked either way. I could have cut down the edges just tiny slightly if I needed to, but I'm kind of picky. I don't like things to be the way they're supposed to. Okay. And then just for my sake, I do want to, let's see, this kind of goes in a little bit like that. This comes down. This one comes down this way and then this way. Okay. And I'm gonna do this. Yep, like that. Okay. That way I kind of get that appearance going. Okay. Oh, wow, this is kind of shiny. It's got a little bit of a shiny on this gray, so I've got to cut it at a little bit of an angle. The more straight cuts that you can do, I suggest you do them. Because if you can get more straight cuts just using the straightness of your blade, you're going to be a lot happier with how you're cutting the templates themselves. Another way that you can get a really nice layered look out of the templates, especially this one, is if you have a slightly darker shade of whatever paper you're working with, you can cut 2 of them out and then cut the side ribbons in that darker shade and layer it underneath, and that'll bring it out as well and look kind of cool. Give that little effect of having a little bit more dimension. You don't have to be perfect with these. You know, one of the things I really love about Kiwi Lane is that you really don't have to be perfect. So I'm kind of really thrilled with that, because I don't cut extremely well at all. I don't normally ink my solids when I'm doing it, but because this is a banner and an accent piece, I'm going to do it. Okay. And one of the things I've shown people in the past is where I did those, laid down those pencil lines and everything else, you can take a dauber, or if you have the Tisinco little sticks, and I have some, I'm sure, somewhere in my stash. They're just not handy. I just actually take, and I hope you can see it because I have a little bit of a light thing going on here. I take a little bit of my dauber and hit the edge right where I want it and put that dark shading behind that area, just to give a little bit of depth to the look. Because every time you stick this dauber in your ink and you kind of move it around, you get a lot on this edge here, and you can really shade. You see that? You can really shade really well with that. Like so. Okay. I like that. Also, I will suggest when you're doing your inking, if you're not using a brand new dauber, like I know I am this time, do not ink over your pages, because if the dauber falls apart, it'll get on your page. When you go to swipe it, you're going to swipe a whole blotch of ink all over your layout, and you're going to be really upset with it. I know, I've done it many times. So just a word to the wise. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and position this one like so. Trace it out. And this one I think I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to take it to my cutter, because there's a lot of straight lines on this one and I don't want to mess it up. Or not. Hang on. It's actually kind of quick. I can straighten them up later if I want. Okay. This one has like a flattened edge on the bottom, and I'm going to kind of round it a little bit because I want more of a flowing feel to the pocket. And I may actually back this one too in a yellow, just to kind of bring it out and pop it off my page a little bit better, because I know it's going to hide a little bit even if I ink it, because I'm using these dark tones and the dark blues. I'm using dark blue, imagine that. Okay, those that know me, yes I know, inner-grown, go ahead. I'm always using blues. I love blues. Although you have to give me credit, I'm using yellow on this page. And I did actually pull some yellow. And I may actually double matte my gray here just to kind of pop it a little bit more, because if I pop these pictures in yellow, this will stand, the banner here will stand out a little bit more, and if I pop this, this will stand out a little bit more too. So I may go ahead and just do that, and I'll do it in the darker one too. Okay, so this one I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to find the best fit that I can. There it is. Okay. My pencils run away from me, I swear, more often than not. And because I'm covering this center area, if I punch out where this circle is here, you're never going to see that when I hide it with that second piece. And the trick is going to be finding the right yellow and all the other stuff to match or contrast this, actually. I have to remember where I stashed my whatchamacallits. I don't like turning a lot with my scissors. I like to have really crisp points when I'm doing flowers and such. So I come in from the edge all the time to do this. I like the look that it gives me. It's much more pointy, but you don't have to. You can round it as much or as little as you'd like. And again, these pencil lines that you're drawing for these templates, if you want to add a little bit more wave, a little bit more movement to them, go ahead. Just because the pencil line says that's the way the template drew it doesn't mean you have to cut it that way. So don't be afraid to add a little bit more of a curve or take away a little bit less if you don't like as much of a wave, or you want to get a little bit of, you know, movement to your piece. Do not be afraid to do that. All right, so that, I need to find my punch. You're gonna have to bear with me for a minute. All right, I did not get them out beforehand. Okay, that's about a 1.5 inch circle. So let's see if I can fit it. Ooh, that's gonna be a problem. I can't get into that. Okay, see what's happening? I can't even get into that. So, oh, that is not a good thing. Because then that means I have to cut it. Oh, I don't want to cut it. Yeah. Because now it means I gotta cut it with a blade. Oh, dear. Let me see if I can find my X-Acto knife. See where I hit it. I think I hit it with my other tools here. Hang on, here it is. All right. The other way, nope, that won't fit there either. Okay. The other way I could do it is with a die, but I don't have that handy either. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it this way. Wish me luck. Notice too, when I'm doing it this way, I'm trying to not move my blade as much as possible. I'm trying to move the piece. And the reason behind that is because the more that you move the blade, the more you're going to change the angle of your blade. And especially if you're trying to do a circle, the more that's going to really mess you up. Especially if you're trying to get at a wonky angle. Okay, so that's not too bad. That turned out pretty good. Okay. So that's gonna go there. And then now you'll see this part here is gonna cover almost all of that, and then this is gonna go back on top. Make sense? Okay. I just gotta find, oh, you know what? Your smile makes me smile. Let's see if I have another yellow that I like. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, this will work. Yeah. No, well, maybe not. That might not contrast enough. Hang on. I don't like that. I didn't like that. That's too bright. I think this is too bright too. Yeah, I don't like that one. Okay, that wins. Okay, let's get it on here. Justify it as best we can so we can save as much of this as we can. Another thing you could do with this one is you could take, if you have the previous kits, you could take the really large sunflower a la carte and you could put it like behind here and just, you know, throw accents in there. And I may do that and bring in that other yellow tone. I'll see how it kind of works. or bring in some more of that gold. I just don't have a deep enough gold in the pattern papers that are here. Surprisingly, because I am not usually a yellow person. So the fact that I'm actually kind of looking for it, that's surprising. Okay, I will say that in cutting this one, it really is a smaller version of that. Okay, I want to save this paper as much as I can, so I don't want to cut from that outside angle. So I don't usually do that, but because I want to save this outside paper, I'm going to. Just using that bare edge of my scissors. All right. And there. I think the other nice thing about running, and I know you guys probably really get sick of, you know, hearing people talk when we're doing YouTubes and things like that, but I think one of the nice things about doing this in real time is kind of so you can, not only just, you can follow along if you really want to, but what you can also do is you can see in real time from start to finish of, you know, concept, putting things together, cutting things out, layering it, and everything else, how long these layouts truly do take. And, you know, the fact that you can honestly get these done, when people say you can do a layout in an hour or an hour and 15 minutes, we're not joking. You know, we're not pulling your leg, we're not pulling your strings. So, you know, that was one of the really big things that really drew me when I first started Kiwi Lane, was that I could get these layouts done and not have to, you know, fiddle around with a bunch of things and worry about what's happening with this or what's going on, or if I should put this here, or how the angles are, or, you know, if it's perfect, if it matches, if my lines line up. And, you know, it really got me kind of away from a lot of that anal retentiveness, really. Okay, and I laid on the brown on this one a little bit thicker because I wanted to get that dark feeling back in here, and I didn't ink this one. I'm not going to ink the inside circle because we're not going to see it. But, you know, I really like to give a 100% show of, hey, this is how long it takes. You know, make your decisions, just go with the flow. If you need to change it later, change it later. You know, just try it out first, see how it all looks, and then if you don't like it, change it. But give yourself some time to really get used to the design as you're creating it and as you're going along in the different steps to complete it, to let it kind of grow on you and let it kind of really work its way into your emotions of, you know what, I actually kind of like it. Okay, so see how that covers that up really nicely? And then this has a white inside, so even though it's a dark color, I'm still going to ink this because I don't want any of that white coming through. We don't want that white. And then also, because it was on the yellow border, doing this will really hide a lot of that. If you have points and things like that on your circles, if you haven't watched my videos before, if you have a nail file, just take your nail file and go around like you would file your nails, and it will take those really bad points and cuts off, and it'll round it out really nicely and really smooth, and then you can just go back in with your thing again and fix it. See? All better. Okay, so that goes there. Let's do a little bit offset there like that, and then see, that turned out really cute. Look at that. Yeah, I really like that. And then that's gonna go just like that. What color I'm gonna make that? You know what? Okay, see here? Aha, see, that came off my dauber. If I was to push that off right now, that would streak my paper. So be careful. Be careful. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this in the blue, or not the blue, the gray, so that I can, you know, really kind of pull 1, 2, 3 in the gray look. I know Plant stalks usually aren't gray, but you know what? I think it'll work really well. And again, utilizing your paper as best you can. Now, these templates are small, and they're kind of flimsy when it gets to like these stalks and the stems and everything else. So if when you're tracing your pencil, they move a little bit, don't worry about it. Don't stress that, because they're going to. You can always cut it, you know, and fix it when you're cutting it, or you can just leave it there. Let it be a little thicker. Let it be a little wonky. It doesn't have to be perfect. Another thing, if you have, and this is something I've actually been doing a lot lately, if you have a brother scan and cut, because I know sometimes, especially recently, my arthritis has acted up really, really badly, with all the changes in the weather and everything else. It tends to do that, unfortunately. So, what I've been doing is I've been tracing onto the papers that I'm cutting, and then just having my brother cut it. Well, in order for the brother to read, the brother's never going to pick up this pencil line on this paper. So what I actually went ahead and did, and I don't have the black one with me, but I have the dark blue one. This is a friction pen. It is the new version of erasable pen, really, and it goes away with heat and friction. So if you basically take the rubber part that's on the end of it, kind of like an eraser, like we used to do with the erasable pens, it will go ahead and erase that pen and ink mark. But the nice thing is, because it's black, the Brother Scan and Cut picks it up really nicely and likes cutting it. And of course, if you know anything about the Brother Scan and Cut, you know that the Brother Scan and Cut can do offset. So the people that have like the little shadow effects behind some of their templates sometimes, that's how some of them are doing it. Another way that people are doing it, and I do have one of them here, there used to be a tool called a Magic Matter. This is a similar tool to that. This has 2 layers stuck together and actual grooves on the inside, whereas the Magic Matter was basically just 2 washers. Or there were a set of 4 washers, excuse me, and you would put your pencil in the middle of it, and then the washer would go around the edge of the template, and it would trace from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch, and give you an offset. So really fun tool to use in a pinch if you don't have these tools, because they are hard to find anymore because they haven't been made in a while. But in a pinch, just use a washer. Go raid your husband's toolbox and just grab a washer. It works really well. Or you can just do like I do sometimes, just eyeball it. Sometimes I'll just put my template down, I'll stick a little bit of adhesive on it, put it down, and then I'll just cut all the way around. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, with this type of one, if you don't like your pencil marks showing on this before you ink it, you can flip this over, because no one's going to know whether it's going left or right. No one's going to matter or pay attention. I kind of like this side, so I'm going to go with it. Again, too, if you've used a scan and cut or something to that effect, you can do the same thing if you don't have a friction pen. The only thing the scan and cut won't do is the borders. It still won't do 12 by 12. Gotta love the machines. There's always drawbacks, I'll tell you what. But, you know, I am one for using every bit of technology that we have. So, alright. Now, I don't know if I want to go... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and accent a little bit down the center of the leaves. Just to give myself some depth and dimension there. There, see? There you go. Kind of like that. There, like that. Bring that down just a tad. Alright. So I don't think in the collection I had or saw any other of the orange or yellow colors that I liked. Nope, not really. All right, so I'm good with that. And like I said, I think this is too bright. I don't think this will, although it kind of matches that a little bit. So I could, if I did one kind of sticking that way, and get it off the page maybe. Just to bring a little bit more yellow in. I don't know. Let me double map my photos first, because I know once I double map my photos, that'll really change how I'm seeing things. So let's do that and add that. I don't normally go up from the 4x6, but because I want this gray to be the right size, I'm doing it. Oh yeah, that's making a big difference. I like it. We likes it, we likes it. Mikey likes it. Okay. Get in there. Not quite far enough on that cut. Okay. There we go. Oops. And there she is. Ooh, yes. See, I really like that. Okay. Much better. Nicer. Okay, this needs it too now. For sure. Okay. When you're working with these papers, remember this stupid, silly strip. I have forgotten so many times recently, and I have kicked myself because I messed it up. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so angry. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm going to set one of the sides at a corner, and then just give myself a nice little edge here. Again, this is just eyeballing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, up this way. And there it goes. Like I said, another thing that you can do is to go ahead and just put a little tiny bit of adhesive there, and then you can put it right in there as you're cutting, so you can really make sure you follow your guidelines and that you do the right edges. Okay. And then, of course, the problem is it moves, and you don't want to cut your thing. Ha ha ha. So there. All right. Once you've cut it the first time, you can always trim it down later if it doesn't quite fit. Yeah, see, I made this one a little bit more curved, and I don't like that. Okay. So, just like that. Again, not perfect, but you know what? It works. Now, again, normally I don't ink the edges of my solids, but because this is an accent piece, I am doing it. Because I want a lot more of that embellishment look. Okay. So I hope we're doing good on time. See, there we go. All right, and then the last pieces are the straight ones here and the scallop edge. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. That's a 2-inch strip, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this 2 inches. Now I'm gonna just cut one first because I may not need both because I'm using from here to here. So depending on how big that medallion is, I may not need to do both. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself 2.5 inches, just in case. Okay, so here to here, cut it there. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to have, okay, yeah, that's not going to be enough. Okay. So that, yeah, I think I like it. We think we like it. All right, 2.5 inches. There. And there. Okay. And even though it's straight edges, I'm still going to do this because, again, I don't like that white. And also because I'm going on to... That's weird. My cutter did that? Well, my cutter's never done that. I think I must have moved my paper. Oops, get over there. Okay, replace that. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. I'm liking it, liking it, liking it. All right, and then in the scallops, I'm gonna do that blue polka dot. I might like either one on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the trace this way. I'm gonna go ahead and trace it like this, just in case, because I might like both ways. I'm gonna try it. Okay, Susan is much faster at cutting these than I am, so you're gonna have to definitely bear with me on that one. And I know I'm cutting with this whole 12 by 12 in my hand, but that's because I'm trying to savor every piece of it possible. And I also want to try and get this upside down wave for another. So see, I'm getting this upside down and I want to be able to use that like that on another page. So I'm kind of trying to keep the integrity of that, so it's not cutting perfectly with my scallops, but that's okay. Normally I'm a lot more picky with how the edges are. Oh, these scissors are getting really dull too. Gosh darn. I need to get some major sharpening time going on here. Also goes back to the old joke of how many pairs of scissors do we have in our stash? I think since I've cleaned my craft room, I think I found 12. All right, so I can put this here like that. You know, that's not too terrible. Although it may hurt with that. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and put these two together because they're gonna keep slipping and I don't want that. I am definitely an overkill when it comes to adhesives. I would rather overkill it than underkill it. So yeah, I'm kind of weird. Also, this has an up and down pattern, and I wanted to show you, and this has also the same up and down pattern. You don't really want to kind of do that, or maybe you do, depending on how the patterns layer and fit together. This one actually, ironically, I would normally alter them, but it looks pretty nice actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave both of them going in the same direction. And then I think I'm gonna have it all go vertical. because this is going horizontal here, so I think I'm gonna have it all go vertical. There we go. There. Now it's not gonna bug me. All right, so see, if I have this right here, I just have a feeling if I put this here, it's gonna clash. Cute as it is, I just have a feeling. Yeah, see, I don't like it. Whereas if I go this way, get in here, like that, that really stands out. So, sorry, blue wins. Polka dot wins. Okay, because I really want this to stand out, because that's a focal piece. Okay, blue polka this way. So this one's not going to matter which direction I go in then. All right, give myself a little bit more room. I really do love the fact that when you're cutting these templates and stuff from Kiwi Lane, that sometimes the negative that you get is usable in different layouts or different, you know, projects or whatever else. And I know, you know, a lot of people talk about how much of a pain it is to cut and to have all the different turns and, I gotta do this, and it's so fussy. It's such a fussy cut. I've always hated fussy cutting myself, but I have found that doing this with Kiwi Lane and with, you know, all these different patterns, that it's not so bad, because you're really not cutting all at once, and you're not, you know, just constantly cutting the same things. So it's, you know, it is very relaxing, and it is kind of mind numbing a little bit, because you just kind of get into a groove. And you just cut, and you just, you know, kind of lazing down and lazing on by. Right, there it is. That goes away. Okay, so yep, that's what I'm liking. So again, I only need, I'm going to make sure that my edges on either side have the point to a scallop. I don't care so much about the inside, but I want this on a full solid scallop. So I'm going to make sure I get that. Okay. And then bring back my ink. And when you're inking, always make sure, if you can't get in this way, come in from behind, and then that will get those little edges in the little grooves. Sometimes it's really hard to get into. Sponges are nice because they'll really force themselves into those points from either the front or the back, which is really cool. Okay. So then that one goes, and then you can, the nice thing about why I cut these a little bit bigger is I can kind of play, if I want now, on how much blue I want to show on the bottom versus the top, if I want to cut those sunflowers down a little bit, or, you know, whichever way I want to do it. So I kind of planned it that way. All right, let's see. Gotta be there, so yep, that one. Perfect. Okay. And I know you guys have noticed I don't ink my outside edges on the outside of the paper because I don't think you need to. Everybody's different. We all have a different look that we like to do. We all have a different way we like to ink. This is just mine. Nothing is right or wrong. It is just your preference on how you choose to have yours done. Okay. And there it is. So I'm kind of liking the simplicity of this. I don't think I will do any more to it. I was thinking about the stamps, but I really don't think it needs it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, because I could put if I really wanted to, I could put a couple down here. I just think it's going to take away from this sunflower, and I don't want to do that. I could put like a couple here in the background, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I'm just going to keep it Kiwi Lane. So, but you know, hey, everything has its little opportunities. So there was a little opportunity for that to be done. So don't feel like you can't use that opportunity. Okay, now this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make I'm going to do an inside banner piece. So, and I of course hid that template. It is hiding somewhere. It is hiding somewhere. Of course. Of course. Of course. A horse is a horse. Of course. Of course. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you how I do this. This inside line here, I'm going to go ahead and line that up to the top. Well, it's a little tiny bit curved, which is fine, so I'm going to do that. Line that edge. Oops. And then go ahead and do this here. And then line this one. And then bring this down like so. Okay. And this comes all the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the inside edge about just a hair. A hair on the inside. Okay, so you can still see that, and then I'm just going to cut a little hair off of that side. Okay, and that should fit in there nicely. And if I need to trim off a little bit more, like on this one, I want to trim off a little bit more of that top. You can. Just like that. Actually, might trim that off a little bit better. There we go. Just like so. And that's it. Alright, now to put it all down. Again, there's no rhyme or reason. Nothing has to be perfect. So it's just a matter of doing what you like. Oops, I am going to put this scallop down first because it's going to layer underneath. Sorry if I'm shaking my camera. Okay. Kind of use just the lines on the paper as a little bit of a guideline. Make sure you don't put your sunflowers upside down. I've done that many times before using my patterns and made myself very angry with myself. And then I'm gonna give myself a little bit of wiggle room. I did not ink the edge of that one. I can see that white and it's driving me nuts. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of room on this bottom, just in case if I want to go back through later and add like a shimmer trim or a glitter trim or something like that. I can. So I don't know if I have any golds that will match this paper very well. So, but I do want to leave myself that option. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit of room between the two. Show a little bit more of that polka dot for now. Okay. On this one, I want to make sure I keep that polka dot above my little point. So. Kind of using the lines on the paper to see whether or not I'm level and even. I'm not really getting really picky about it. Again, this is not about perfection. It's not about having everything in the perfect spot. And having to be absolutely just perfect. Okay. Yep. Okay. Let's put that one back together so we can kind of get a... I do want the medallion kind of centered. There we go. Just be aware when you're doing all of your adhesives and everything that you're putting what needs to go underneath, and what needs to go on top. A lot of times I won't actually put adhesives on. I did that, didn't I? I did my medallion upside down. Would you look at that? I wasn't even paying attention. Ha! Well, isn't that fun? All right. So, let's rethink this. Okay. No, I still want that on this other side. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna have to change that. I'm gonna have to flip it over. Okay. See, imagine what you actually notice when you pay attention. I did that medallion backwards. Speaking of paper, and putting it the right direction. All right, try again. Can't believe I caught that. That was so funny. So this is the difference between scrapping virtually and scrapping like with people, because if you guys were here with me, all of you would have been yelling me going, Sandy, turn your paper upside down. Hello. Everyone would have been like, it's upside down. All right. Nope. See, now it's not straight. There we go. All right, there we go. We're back in business. That is so funny though, because I did mention that, didn't I? Earlier, about making sure your paper was the right way. Never fails. But you know what? That was an easy fix. And we caught it in time, so that was good. Ta-da! There we go. No harm, no foul. Okay. So now we'll just put this guy here. Oops. A little bit more this way. Okay. And then this one. When you're pulling stuff off like this, sometimes you really don't, you know, even though you get like a little bit of oopsie and tearing or whatever else on the bottom of your paper, you're going to cover that back up, so don't stress it too much. Thankfully, ATG is a little bit forgiving. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I can kind of take care of that oopsie. There it is. I was like, where'd it go? Okay. Oh, see, now I got to clean that edge up, because that edge is going to show now. All right, back in business. Now, if something would have happened by having to do that, and I had a gap here or something, I could have done another one of these flowers and come over and, you know, put it here to fill in whatever gap or hole may have happened or may have been caused. Thankfully, it didn't, but just in case I could have if I needed to. Okay. Hope I haven't bored you guys for too long, and I hope you're enjoying everything. I know this takes a long time because it is a process, but again, I hope you know, stick with me and stick with my shows. I'm gonna actually kind of round this one a little bit, just a little bit more flowy feel. Okay. There. That. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. You don't have to. No, not everybody scrapbooks the same way. I do thank you for visiting me. I have lots of mini albums and other fun things that I like doing all the time. So please feel free to peruse all the different tutorials and instructions and everything that I have. I'll do that a little bit more towards this edge. There we go. Oh, wait, no, can't go too far because that banner's not going to work. Hang on. Okay. Okay, that banner's got to go right there. So this has got to move. ATG is kind of neat because you can really fix some oopses sometimes. It has a nice rubbing effect that you can do. So I have learned how to cheat with it over the years, having used it for so long. There we go. Much better. Okay, make sure it's straight. There. Another thing I do like doing is putting some cardboard behind here, or some chipboard, and that way you kind of pop it up and you can make it really dimensional. But just another little thing I like doing every now and then. Whenever I'm working with different pieces and I want to create like a boxed look, I don't glue one down before the other, just in case I have to move and adjust. I kind of play with it a little bit first. And again, I am not making these perfect. These are just kind of eyeballed. Okay, so there. Alright, I want it to look a little bit uniform on the gapping. Yep, I like that. Okay. All right, there we go. And then last but not least, my pocket. Where did my pocket go? Did I hide it? Yep, I did. And there's my pocket. If you really wanted to, you could probably put something behind this pocket and like it was coming out of the pocket, which would be really cute. Like maybe do another sunflower coming out of the pocket. You wanted to kind of just jazz it up a little bit. See, let's see. Here's the little one you could do. Like that. And have a little sunflower coming out there. The only reason why I won't do that is because I don't have another of this specific pattern here and this color. If I did, then yes, I would absolutely do that. Because I'm kind of a stickler for repeating patterns. So I do not, since I don't have that pattern, I don't think I would do it. I don't have another pattern that I like well enough to substitute for it. Yeah, I definitely don't like the gray, and I don't like that really bright white yellow. So, yeah. But yeah, if you wanted to, you could really easily just do another one there, and it would be very cute. But for me, I think that is all she wrote. But I am going to just put my adhesive down low on this one, just in case there is something I want to try and do later on. So I'm going to leave this top to where I can tuck something into it later on if I want to. All right, well, that is my September Kiwi Lane Club. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks so much for watching, and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.